Hi everybody, it's Erin Reed, and today I'm going to show you a fun little tote bag that I made, and then kind of the inspiration of where it led to make this fun card, which we're going to assemble together. That was just my tweaking so far. So this fun tote bag is made using all Expo International products, including the tote, the trim, and also the tassels. And this is what the trim looked like when I first got it. I thought it was so pretty. It's actually an iron-on trim. And as always, all supplies are going to be linked down below so where you can find them. But look how pretty this is. Isn't that gorgeous? I absolutely love that. And so that was what I used, and I cut it up. If you want to see the full video about how I made this tote bag, check on up in the iCard and also down below for the link to go to the Expo International YouTube channel where I show you how to make this step by step. It's pretty darn cool. And also these really cool tassels, which come in a ton of different colors. This just happened to be the black ones. So from that, I then was looking at this trim. I'm like, this is just so stinking pretty. I love it. It's not super, super heavy, which I love about that. And I was like, well, why can't I turn this into a card? So that's where I'm going with that. And look what I have here. This is so cool. My idea, I love the look of the chevron that was on the bag. And I just got this package of flowers in from a company called Little Birdie Crafts, where all the flowers are handmade by women in India. And there's actually a little saying on the flower pack, which is where I pulled both the leaves and both sizes of flowers on this card. And it says, these embellishments are handmade and use some natural materials, so slight flaws may appear. The range of endeavors to provide employment to underprivileged rural Indian women, which I think is fabulous. So not only am I getting something pretty, but it's also giving somebody a job who needs it, which is fantastic. So I'm going to pull this apart. One of my tricks for when this is not, things been glued down here. One of my tricks is to take my phone, stick it on my camera mode, and take a picture. And make sure I actually took the picture because I've done that a couple of times. I thought I heard it click, and lo and behold, I didn't. So I have the image of what my what my card is going to look like in my phone. So I'm going to go ahead and disassemble it. And if you notice, the first thing I did is I went ahead and cut because I was playing. You know, sometimes before I go through and make a video for you guys, I test it and make sure it's good. Sometimes I just go full force into it and you get what my brainchild's creating at that moment. But I love the look of the gems on the canvas based on this tote bag and the chevron pattern, the zigzag pattern that was on there. So what I have here is I have a card from Canvas Core that is a stitched burlap card. So it actually has, and I got to pull these off to glue them down anyway. It actually is a card, and this is a 5x7 card that the burlap's already been stitched on for me. And I love the look of it opening horizontally, meaning like this. If you want to do it this way, you could easily do the chevrons going vertically, but I like the look of it. I started off doing the vertical card. I like the look of it horizontal better. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take a craft glue. This is the same glue I used to create and add these to the bag. Just putting a little dab of glue, and this is my fast trick. I have a glue jar that I use, which is where I put my glue when I want to have it upside down. Now, before I go and glue all these and get completely misaligned here, I'm going to set this up again the way I had it to make sure that I have it lined up so that way they don't come off my card. So it fits on there nicely, and I do. So now I can just pull them off one at a time, add my strip of glue, keep my glue upside down in my jar. So that way all the glue is now staying to the bottom. It also gives it much faster. I don't have to get the glue to kind of flow again because that's a pain in the tuchus. And then just start gluing these down. Super easy card right now. Now, what if you don't have this beautiful gem? You could do this with washi tape. This would be kind of a cool pattern with washi tape. There's all different pretty patterns out there. You could do this with strips of paper. They have some of that mesh stuff out there. So I just like the look of the gems on the burlap to me is really striking. Okay, the next thing I did is I went in and I was like, well, it needs some sort of flourish or something. And so I found a flourish. And this is a pack that came from a company called Creative Embellishments. And I've had this thing forever. And I laid it on here. I was like, well, that's just so stinking pretty. At first I thought, well, maybe I'd color it, but then I added the flowers on top. And I was like, no, I like it look natural color better because then it gives this little bit of a contrast with the burlap. It has this whole natural vibe to it. So I'm not coloring it. I'm leaving it plain. I'm going to come in and add my little dabs of glue here, there, and everywhere. And just kind of go in and add it all over the place. And then stick that down. Just kind of, and I like going more to a side. I know my bag's right in my way. I like going to the side more than in the middle because the middle feels like I'm cutting my card in half. When I line things up to one side, it works better. All right. In the paper flower kit, there were all these fun stems, and I picked the two shortest ones. The long ones looked funny when I added them, so I picked the two short ones, and these I can tell they're made from paper. And if you've ever made paper flowers, they're these little instruments that you can get that have like little balls on the end of them, and you can rub them and it contorts the paper and stretches the fibers, and that's what they've done. They've come in and they've stretched the fibers of the paper. It looks like it's been stamped and die cut for you, which is fabulous. I love that look. It looks like it's been handmade and I didn't have to do it. It's so cool. So I'm just creating a V pattern with these leaves, adding glue here and there, still allowing them to kind of envelop. This is not a flat card by any stretch of the imagination. This has some element to it, some dimension. I'm going to come in now with my flower, add a big chunk of the glue to the center. And these flowers look like they've been stamped and die cut and inked. And then it has this beautiful ball in the middle, which this isn't a light flower. This ball has a little bit of heft to it, but this is not a flat card, so I'm cool with it. Add a little bit of glue in here and then tuck it under. You don't want to make it look too perfect. And this is why I'm using a good quality glue that's going to have a lot of grab and stick to it, because I want it to be able to hold all these elements to that. Now that I'm officially done with my glue, I'm going to go ahead and turn and close it up. And here is my beautiful card. So look how well that burlap just gives it that setting. Now I didn't have to add one of these elements, but I wanted to be able to fit the pattern. And you see a tiny bit here and a little bit poking through, but there's definitely like a whole section that I just covered up, and it is what it is. If you want to try and save supplies, I guess you could leave that part out. Whatever floats your boat. But I love how I can take one item and one concept and it helped inspire another one. And I went a completely different direction. I mean, this is not foofy, it's glitzy, but it's not foofy, shabby chicy, whereas that's where this element, but it gave me that backbone. Instead of just doing a straight line, which is your anchor for your cards, I gave it a different kind of an element with a zigzag and using a completely different trim. I mean, I could have just done a vertical line here, but it was just too boring. I needed more. It needed some oomph because this strip is just too narrow for this card. So as always, supplies are listed down below. Don't forget to check them out, click on them, have some fun, give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to go over to Expo International and check out the video about how I made this cool tote. And I will see you guys again later. Bye-bye.